The opposition says the arrival of asylum seekers off Christmas Island tonight is evidence that the government's policy vacuum is encouraging people smugglers. A boat carrying 72 passengers and 2 crew has been located north of Christmas Island. It's the first boat since last week's High Court decision. And the ABC understands that the government is close to finalising a new asylum seeker policy, which it hopes to present to Cabinet on Monday. Philippa McDonald reports.
A maritime patrol aircraft initially detected the boat, which has now been intercepted by HMAS Wollongong north of Christmas Island. Customs say 74 people are on board, including 2 crew members, and they'll initially be taken to Christmas Island.
This government has made such a mess of this area on border protection that the people smugglers have got rich on the proceeds.
The opposition says the government has no border protection policy.
Julia Gillard used to say, every boat arrival constitutes another policy failure. Well, based on this boat, she's now got a ton of policy failures, 100 on her watch.
Earlier this week, the coalition was briefed by the Immigration Department chief on the implications of not having offshore processing in the wake of the High Court decision. But the opposition insists that a figure of 600 arrivals a month was not part of the briefing. The Greens are still seeing red over what they see as the alarmist content of the immigration chief's briefings and are sheeting the blame home to the Prime Minister.
The idea that the Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, the leader of the Labor Party, has gone as far right or even further than John Howard in drumming up fear and hysteria around the numbers of people arriving in this country by boat are beneath the office of Prime Minister.
Cabinet and the Labor caucus are meeting on Monday to try and revive an offshore asylum seeker policy, but the Attorney-General admits the party is torn.
It is a very, very complex issue. It's one that people have very, very strongly held views about, and it's one that has very significant consequences, both in terms of how fellow human beings are detained on the one hand, but also on the other, trying to ensure that they're not exploited.
Next week will be significant for the government. The ABC understands it's close to finalising its new asylum seeker policy, and the carbon tax legislation will be introduced. And a change of heart by the opposition leader will make the passage of those bills a little easier. Tony Abbott has agreed to a pairing arrangement, which means the government won't lose Craig Thomson's crucial vote.
If Mr Thomson wants a brief absence from the Parliament for the birth of his child, obviously the coalition will provide that.
Tony Abbott has been dragged kicking and screaming towards decency.
Craig Thomson wasn't talking today about new claims regarding his old union spending under his watch and allegations he had another credit card paid for by one of the union's contractors.
Now, on the face of it, this looks, again, like a grievous misuse of the money of the working poor. I mean, the people who are members of this union are quite lowly paid workers.
Yesterday, the New South Wales Police said there were no grounds for Craig Thomson to be prosecuted. Today, the opposition referred these new allegations to the state's police commissioner. Philippa McDonald, Lateline.